It's a movie about a space crew who comes across an unknown transmission, and while they're on this mission, one of their crew members gets attacked by some unknown life form, and this life form becomes real aggressive, and this space crew comes across something they have no clue about. This movie was directed by Ridley Scott, and is one of his best movies that he came out with early on. When it comes to Alien, and as far as this cast, to me, you got one of the best casts you can have in a movie. To me, you don't get casts like this, especially when it comes to horror movies these days. To me, in these movies these days, as far as horror movies or thrillers, you're getting a lot of, I would say, models, like people who look like they're not no engineers, or people who genuinely don't look like they will be in these positions they in. With a movie like Alien, you got people who genuinely look like they're down to earth people. Like if they came across this situation, these how real people would react. These look like real people that work at these jobs. These look like you could have been one of these crew members, basically. Then with this cast, it just gives off an element of realism, something that you believe in, that makes you go along with the movie so much more. It makes you not only that care about these characters much more. When it comes to the creatures, man, and this ain't no surprise by showing the creatures of it being a spoiler. I mean, this movie came in 1979, but even then, just talking about that movie coming out in 1979, you get an element, something you haven't seen before. Even watching this movie to this day, these creatures, the scariness of it, the intenseness behind it, not knowing where they're going to come from, the surprise of them. And once you come across those surprises, and even certain characters you come across saying, oh, I thought that one person was going to make it to the end. You never know what's going to happen with this movie. And that's what makes this movie so good, because these creatures ain't just no Jason, Freddy, or just some monster creatures. They smart. And the way they manipulate this crew and the way they take out this crew, it makes the movie so much more better.
All right.
Am I Claire Lambert? I want to get the hell out of here.
Oh, God, it's moving right towards you. Move, get out of there. Moving towards you, move. Down. Move down. Move down. Get out. Oh, no, not that way. The other way, God. Dallas?
The driving force behind this movie, of course, is Sigourney Weaver, who plays Ripley. She is our main character. I mean, we are driving and we are riding with this woman. We want to see her make it. We want to see her survive. And she is the driving force behind this movie. She is the reason why we stick with this movie. She is the reason why you probably trying to cover your eyes. Like the intensity this woman goes through, the things she's trying to fight for. And I mean by fighting for survival, the things she's trying to do, like she is doing everything she can, not only to survive, but to try to keep her crew members alive. And you just see how the driving force for her to do the things she has to do to try to either just survive or try to just not let certain things happen. Because in this movie, she's trying to prevent this thing from reaching Earth. Like, she has to make sure not only that maybe she'll make it or not, no matter what the situation is, she has to make sure that this creature does not make it to Earth. And the things she goes through, and just seeing the intensity in her eyes, man, and just seeing her body language, like, it's the driving force behind this movie, and it's one of the perfect reasons why this cast is so good, especially Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. Another good thing about this movie, and one of the perfect things about this movie, is the creature effects and the gore. You ever watch a movie like The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, the effects in that movie, the way people were mutilated and the way the creatures came about, that's some of the same practical effects that you have in this movie, Alien, 1979. You watch this movie today, especially on your 4K TV, HD TV, or whatever, and you see the effects of this movie. You see the gore of this movie. And it's one particular scene where you're sitting around watching these people eat dinner, and all of a sudden this thing happens, and you're like, what the fuck? For real.
No, man. I don't want to talk about what it's made of. I'm eating this. What's the matter? The food ain't that bad, baby.
What's wrong?
What?
Oh, God!
What's going on, man? You back in the Low Key Cave, man. We're here to do a retro review of Alien 1979, man. This movie is primarily about a space crew, man, that's out and they get an unknown transmission, man. And when they go to this place where they get this unknown transmission from, all hell breaks loose, man. One of their crew members come across some type of shit that attaches to his face, and from there on out, they're pretty much dealing with some shit that you can't even imagine, man. I guess I'm gonna say it's kinda spoilers, kinda not. This movie came out in 1979, man. And maybe it's some people who haven't seen it, man. But I'm telling you, it's one of the greatest horror movies / thrillers that's out there. I'm telling you. And I'm just feeling like these one of those movies that once you come across it and you actually just sit down to watch it, man, you ain't gonna want to take your eyes off of it. It's one of those movies where you be waiting on a sequel to come out to it because you're like, you got to have more story to this, man. But when it comes to this movie pertaining to just the first Alien 1979, this movie still lives up to today. In 2021, if you watch Alien, especially if you have never seen Alien, I'm telling you right now, you're going to be scared out your mind. You're going to be scared. This shit going to have you terrified, man. It ain't just about because it's out of space. You're like, man, I ain't worrying about this shit. It's in outer space. Still, just in dark spaces, when you out at night or some shit, anything, man, this movie is going to keep you up at night because it's one of those movies where you like, oh shit, this is not cheap jump scares. This is a movie where every minute and around the corner it was intense. Not only because of the creature, because you don't even come across the creature to a good, like maybe 45 minutes into the movie, going into like 50 minutes, you come across the creature. But once that creature comes on, it's non-stop. But even before then, just getting to know this crew, just vibing with this crew, it's great, man, because this crew is like people, like I said early in the video, this down-to-earth crew. This is a crew, a bunch of people that you feel like you will know, like some people you know from down the street, somebody you know might be fixing your car, somebody you might work with, like these people that you feel like you know on a day-to-day basis. And when you're seeing these people deal with the situation they have to deal with, when this unknown thing come across their ship, and you have these regular people who have no idea, they're not military people. These are working class people that happen to work in outer space. And when they come across this thing, it's like, what's going on? What the hell are we going to do? It's desperation. People are dying. And just seeing how manipulative this creature is, this alien is, it's like, damn, man. How are these people going to get out of this situation, man? How are they going to be able to survive this? And you're like, what would I do if I was in this situation? What would I do if I'm coming across some damn creature, some crazy ass shit that's doing all the things that this thing is doing, man? And it's just so many things that come with this movie, man. Dealing with not only an alien that you pretty much feels like is kind of smarter than you, but if you try to attack this being, because like I said, this movie came in 1979, it's going to be somewhat spoilers with what I'm talking about. This creature has blood that's made of pretty much acid. So, for instance, you cut it closer to you, the shit can spill on you, go right through your arm or whatever, cut your fucking arm off of your leg. Or for instance, you shoot it and it splash everywhere and you got acid going all over you. So, it's almost like this thing has like the perfect defense mechanism, because it's like if you try to kill it, you can end up killing yourself. So it's like, what do you do? And to see the way Ripley, like I said earlier in the video, Sigourney Weaver's character, the way she has to maneuver and the things she has to do to try to survive this creature, and not only survive the creature, to end up trying to kill it, this creature, it's like, wow, what is she going to do? You're just sitting there on this thrill ride with this space crew and trying to see how are they going to get out of this situation. And it's one of those movies where I don't feel like you actually yelling at the screen like, what are you doing? You don't do that. You are sitting there like, oh my God, it's like, what is going on? Like, how did that happen? Like, where did he come from? Because that's a lot in this movie. The best thing I can tell you about this movie, and that's why I say you get no cheap jump scares when it comes to Alien. Whatever scare happens, it's there for a reason. Like, if this thing comes out, it's there. It ain't no something falling over here and it ain't nothing right there. No, if something falling right there, that creature's right there. If something is on the roof and it look like maybe a shadow, or you think it's like some shit, like, you know how you have these certain scary movies where it'll be some like a damn broom or a chair sitting there and they jump up like, or no, it ain't no damn man, or it ain't nothing right there, just a chair or some shit. Nah, not with Alien. If it's some shadowy shit right there, that motherfucker right there. It's a certain scene in this movie where this motherfucker like is curled up. So Sigourney Weaver pretty much thinking everything good. Like Ripley is pretty much like, okay, I think this motherfucker's out of here. I think I did something. No, this motherfucker pops out like curled up in some shit like it's crazy. And ain't no mute. Another good thing with this, like, ain't no jump scare music. Like, when it comes out, you just hear the alien and the person is screaming their ass off like, oh shit, that's getting attacked. That's all you hear. And this movie to me does another thing with, and I think I might have said this earlier in the video, if this was the first time you seen this movie, you didn't know nothing about Sigourney Weaver, you ain't know nothing about none of these actors, and you seen certain actors might be bigger than certain actors at the time when this movie came out. So when you're watching this, and you know how you watch a certain movie and it's ongoing and ongoing, and you see, okay, yeah, you can see this person probably gonna survive. They look like the leader, blah blah blah. But like with this movie, you don't know who gonna make it and who not, because this, like, one of the first people that's pretty much killed in the movie is pretty much a main character that you consider a main character. Like, this is a pretty much upper echelon person that's been throughout this movie since it started. That's pretty much seeming like a leader or individual. But when the situation happens and the thing ends up killing them, it's like, oh, so this is what we doing. So we'll take out anybody. It doesn't matter what's going on. And that's one of the best parts about this movie, man. And like I said, if you're trying to find something like this real scary and intimidating, this is the movie for you. Now let's get to the part where I was talking about earlier in the movie, the gore. You're going to get that. And it's not just some shit where it's like Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, where niggas is just slicing people for no reason to just kill them or kill them. Not, I'm gonna say for Saw. Like, this ain't no Saw shit where torturing people or doing all this type of shit. Like, when violence happens in this movie, it's for a reason. And till this day, this movie has one of the goriest, nastiest scenes in this movie. And I showed that earlier. Like, did you see that? It has one of the most intense scenes in this movie where you're like, oh my God, they did that. What is going on? And that scene comes out of nowhere. Like I said earlier, like, it's crazy. And not only that, you'll get other scenes where this thing is completely like ripping people's whole like face and mouth and shit. Now I ain't gonna say ripping it off, but going completely through their heads. Like, and it ain't no gimmicky looking stuff. This is 1979. The creature effects, the gore effects, it looks good. Like, the stuff you looking at, it looks good and it looks real. Like, the reactions to it looks good. All of that type of stuff looks so good, and that's one of the reasons why this movie is, like I said, one of the best horror movies out. And I'm telling you, in my opinion, it's got to be at least my top 3 of horror movies of all time. I didn't even watch this when it first came. Well, of course I couldn't. I wasn't born then. But as far as I watched this later on in years, like, I'd say 2000s. When the first time I even started watching the Alien movies was in the 2000s. I ain't gonna say it was early 2000s. This was probably like 2004, 5, 6 maybe. Like it was later on I started watching these, and I ain't even really sit down and watch them till later on, and then I started watching them. And once I watched this first one, I went on to watch the second one. Once I watched that second one, and I went on to watch the third one. And you pretty much know what was going on then. Now, to be honest, the first Alien movie I watched was Alien Resurrection. That was before I even watched these. So you could have pretty much got my perspective of how I felt about an Alien movie, just starting off with Alien Resurrection and going to this and seeing how good I like this and seeing how better this one is. And Aliens, the ones after this, I'm gonna have to do something with that, man. It's one of the best action horror movies out to this day too. But like I said with this movie, man, if it's something you haven't seen, it's definitely the ones you got to check out, man. If you don't want to check it out just for the horror, it's good for the action. If you don't want to check it out for the action, it's good for the thrilling part. It's a thriller too. This is a horror thriller. It's got a little action in it. Ain't got a lot. It's got a little action in it, but it's more of a horror thriller. It's bang horror, man. I'm telling you. It's one of the scariest movies that came out. One of the scary movies to this day. It's up there with movies like The Exorcist. I'm telling you. And you're not only going to get, just like I said, an enjoyable movie and a good horror movie and just a good couple jump scares, but not cheap jump scares. But you're gonna get a good script. You're gonna get a very, very good script and some good plot and some good storytelling, man. And that's all you need when it comes to these type of movies, man. But I just really wanted to go back and talk about one of my favorite movies, man. Like I said, the movie came out in 1979, and till this day, it very much lives up to the standards of horror movies. Not only horror movies, but the standards of the way they do horror movies, whether it's having a good plot cast or whether it's having a good amount of gore or no amount of gore. Because this movie has gore, but it's not like this all the time. The moments this movie has gore is some of the best scenes, not only in horror movies, but just in movies history. So if you haven't seen this movie, check it out. If you have seen this movie, go back and check it out if you haven't seen it in a long time, because I'm telling you, it's even better now. I'm telling you, just sitting there and watching these people try to do the things they're trying to do, and you're like, what would I do? I wouldn't even know what to do, man. I'm telling you. But leave your comments in the comment section, man. Let me know if you've seen Alien. Let me know if you're a fan of any of the other Aliens, man. Even the Alien vs. Alien movies. Let me know if you're a fan of those, man. But this is my #1 movie as far as the Alien franchise, period. I love this movie the best, man. But y'all let me know what y'all love, man, as far as these Alien movies, and let me know what's some of the best moments in some of the Alien movies that y'all like. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. This is the road to 100 subscribers, man. We out.